Do we have everyone? Oh, lovely. Everyone's already in the room. Hi, everyone. Can everyone just let me know if you can hear me and see me? Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Okay, Bob, I see you raising your hand. Cool. So, this is my first time ever doing like a lecture style class. Normally, my classes, which as you can see, most of you are in my classes are typically cameras on and they're very live and interactive. So, you guys are going to get to just hear me yap today. This is the first time that I'm teaching and unable to see all of you. So, I'm like, wow, it's just me. But I did prepare a really fun lesson plan for you guys today. I'm subbing in for the teacher that was supposed to be taking over this class. And I'm actually seeing question. I'm gonna ask this later, but today's class is going to be about going over some great artists and also what they did in order to prepare for their roles to get to where they are, and just the different preparation that different big actors did for major roles. So some examples that we're going to use today are going to be Heath Ledger and Meryl Streep, of course, duh, because they are so incredible and amazing. But I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen so I can show you guys the lesson plan and we can kind of just go over it. Question, with this sort of meeting style, are you guys able, oh, I can allow you guys to talk. Amazing. Oh my gosh, wait. This is amazing. Wow. Oh, this is so much better, y'all. Hey guys, what's up? You guys are all getting permission to talk. That's so amazing. I didn't know I was capable of
How's
doing
that?
that.
Anybody here?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can hear you guys. What's up?
Yay!
Not too much.
Oh, that's so much better. Y'all, it's so awkward when you guys can't talk back. I'm just like, hey, are y'all actually there?
Well, I
Like,
can hear you.
that felt so dystopian. Do people actually teach classes like that?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's so
Awesome.
Yes, they do.
dystopian.
Oh, I didn't know I could. Yes.
That's so weird. Some people they must just like to listen to themselves talk in that case.
Actually,
But
so
actually-
Lauren does let us take turns, so she gives us an activity, and then we all have a turn.
oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well,
And a couple of the others use the Q&A thing instead of live talking.
okay, cool. Because I had no idea you guys entered the room because for my room, I have to give you guys like individual access to join. So I don't know how much you guys just saw of me like preparing my space. That's so embarrassing. Hello.
Okay. That's all
No,
right.
we didn't see it.
We didn't see it.
I did.
Okay. Okay. Well,
It's okay.
Yeah. I checked both links in case, so I kind of bounced back and forth, making sure I wasn't in the wrong class.
no. Yeah. I'm also gonna
Because
be.
sometimes, because sometimes 9-9, because sometimes even with your class, having a different link at the end, 9-9 will still text us with the other with the primary link, with the webinar link.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that I'm subbing for the teacher for today and tomorrow, so we're gonna be using this link for today and tomorrow, and I'll just give you guys all access to talk and stuff. But yeah, and then for my classes, which are gonna be Sundays, that's regular schmegular meeting link that we use. But yeah, this makes me so much more excited to teach this class now that I know that I can, do this stuff. But this is kind of what I prepared for y'all. I made this little bit of this lesson plan, and we're gonna go over some examples, and I kind of made it pretty simple in the sense that like we're gonna go over a lot of actors, and I'm not gonna go too deep into their process as much as I want to just briefly go over it and then give you guys an exercise where you guys can actually put that into practice and discover what that sort of technique means for you. So what are some amazing performances that you guys think right off rip that you guys are like, oh wow, I wonder what this actor did in order to get this role? Is there any like major actors or major roles that stand out to you performance wise?
Denzel Washington.
In what?
in the training day. I
In
just
Training
can't
Day?
figure out how he got in that kind of character. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, absolutely. That monologue he has in that film, iconic.
There was a
Anyone?
recent one. Yeah, a recent movie with Rachel McAdams in the new movie Send Help.
Oh yes! Oh, I loved that movie. That movie
That
was
was incredible.
so
I've always
funny.
loved her as an actress. She just blows my mind in that movie.
Yeah, no, she was so funny. I loved her chemistry with Dylan O'Brien. I'm sure like I don't even
Right,
know if they even had to do much prep. I feel like they're both such fun people that they just got on set and it was just immediate like pop 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 pop. It was a
right.
very funny film. But yeah, the first example that I'm gonna go into, of course, Heath Ledger. Iconic. He is such an incredible actor. R.I.P. He would have loved this
Yeah.
class. But the main thing that Heath Ledger would always do in order to get into his characters was creating their world. And when I say creating their world, because there's many ways that that can be interpreted, right? You can create a character's world within your own head. You can create a character's world within their body. You can create a character's world externally within their locations where they actually are. Heath Ledger, he specialized on creating that world for that character on a psychological basis. So he created that world in his head. And now there's a lot of ways that actors do this sort of thing, right? You can go the route of, writing a 25-page paper that just goes over this character story, or you can write a novel in first person as that character. In his case, and honestly what a couple other actors that I know do this, is they write a journal. They keep a journal as this character. And with this journal, that journal is going to be like your character's Bible, right? And you can start it at any point of the process. You can start it like before you're even on set, before you're doing anything. You can start it at the audition process, where you kind of just start this booklet and you start writing some journal entries as this character. And when I say write these journal entries, and what makes this sort of exercise so powerful is that it really exercises your imagination. Because what are we doing? We are writing as this character. So we're going to write like, oh, well, today I woke up and I saw this and I had this interaction with this person. And it's all fiction. It's all fiction, right? You can create that world however you want. Maybe it was raining in that character's day. It wasn't actually raining when you woke up, but for that character, it was. But the aspect and the idea of creating this character's world within their brain really comes to light through this journal, right? Because you just start writing entries as this person, and then the more entries you write, the easier it is for you to kind of step into their skin, and not just that, but have opinions about stuff. Because even though all of these entries are fiction, you will subconsciously start forming attachments and opinions to this character and their psyche, how they feel about stuff. So automatically you're getting to know this character on a very, very deep level, that goes further than just a simple interview. It's actually seeing through their eyes and exercising what that feels like. You can start that process early on, and you can pull that process even through actually being on set. You film one scene and then you go to the crafty and get your snacks, and maybe you write an entry about what that experience was on set as your character, So Heath Ledger would always do this, and he would always keep journals. And even towards the end of his career, when he was doing the journals for Joker, you can actually see, if you actually see any of the pictures of the journal that he wrote, you can actually see him start losing his mind, which is really, really interesting. And there's a lot of psychology that goes behind handwriting even. So when you think about it, like handwriting that's all concise and perfect, and it's pretty cool, right? That's typically a sane mind. Cursive that is also quite, everything is the same length, everything is pretty normal, like all the lower cases are here, capitals are here. You guys know what I mean. That organized stuff, typically sane. But with sociopaths and psychopaths, you will notice, especially psychopaths or people when they're going through manic episodes, you will notice that their handwriting, it goes from regular script to cursive to script to cursive, and it's representative of their mind because their brain is working faster than their hands can move. So some of the letters is nice and cool, but then sometimes you can see those moments where that spark happens and they just and then it goes back to normal, and then it goes back to scribble, and maybe it goes to a diagonal, maybe it goes down. Honestly, studying handwriting of people losing their mind is pretty interesting because you can really see the state of someone's mind through their handwriting. So when you see Heath Ledger's journal, you can see that his handwriting starts going absolutely berserk. Like, he's no longer on the lines. He is writing upside down on the page, going all sorts of directions. Everything is just ha 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 ha, just crazy stuff everywhere. And it just becomes a lot of illustrations, right? So Heath Ledger, maybe don't take it that far. You know, he actually did lose his mind, and it's, you know, one of the dangers of acting. If you're in my class, you know, I talk about this quite often. Mental health is very, very important in an actor, because when you're messing with your own brain, your own psyche, your own perception of reality, it can become a very dangerous game if you do not do it in a safe way. But the journal, it's a great way to get into that. But of course, if you're taking on a character like the Joker, which is like a cursed role, or you're taking any sort of emotionally intense role, you want to make sure that you're keeping tabs on yourself while you explore those darker areas, because you want to make sure that line between reality and fiction doesn't get too blurred. So now an exercise that you guys have, and I don't know if you guys have any pen or papers or anything, but the way that I kind of set up this class was because I didn't know that you guys would be able to talk in it. So the way I set it up was I would kind of lecture about some stuff and then give you guys an exercise to plan out later. And I was going to have you guys get a pen and paper or a notes, whatever's convenient for you guys. So you can actually write down what that exercise is. And that's also partially why I'm sharing my screen, so you guys can like check it out. So whatever says the student exercise, feel free to write that down, because these are all exercises that you guys can do. It doesn't have to be just in this class. It can be in your own time. Like if 2 weeks from now you're like, oh look, I don't have anything to do, I have a day off from work, let me do a fun acting exercise. You pick one of these. I think I have 20. Yeah, I have 20 examples here. So you'll have 20 exercises, and you can do those in the span of a week, a year, 3 years, a decade. Up to you. You know, these are just different exercises that you guys can all do. But yeah. So for the Heath Ledger, I would say it says over here, give students 3 minutes to write a page from the character's private journal. What do they hate? What makes them laugh? What would they never admit publicly? Then perform a scene without mentioning what you wrote. So then perform the part 2 of it. We can work, you know, if you end up, because my classes specifically are scene study classes, and I'm pretty sure everyone here has been in at least one of my classes. So if you guys ever do want to, you know, tie this in and connect a scene to a exercise, feel free to do that. Feel free to work on a scene in base of that exercise, and you can bring it to class, and we'll work on that in class. So you can do the first part on your own, the writing a little bit of a character's private journal, and then if you guys want to perform a scene, you bring the scene into class, and you're like, hey Maddie, remember when you subbed that teacher and we did this exercise? Well, we did a scene in base of it, and we want to work on it. And I'm gonna be like, awesome, let's see what you got. And I saw someone raise a hand. To the person who raised a hand, what's your question?
Oh no, I was just looking for the thumbs up icon. I can't see it on here. Sorry
You're
about that.
good. No problem. You're all good. You're all good. But yeah, up next we have the beautiful, the dazzling, the incredible Meryl Streep, the woman who ages like fine wine. So in Sophie's Choice, Streep she learned Polish, and she worked carefully on Sophie's language and accent patterns. So the big lesson to learn here is technical preparation can create emotional freedom. So I'm so passionate about this, right? Because I always say, in order to study acting, if you want to do it not only successfully but efficiently, you want to have strong basis. You want to have a strong foundation. You want to understand the technicalities, how to apply everything. You want to be very nitpicky when you're starting off. That way you have freedom in the future. And I say the same thing when it comes to scenes. You guys can only work so much on a scene when you're not memorized. Why? Because you guys do not have freedom until you're memorized, you know? And it doesn't matter how well you know the script. And it's very funny because you can be memorized, and then you hand the script, you get an action, you say, okay, great, you're memorizing the scene, do the scene. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna give you the script and I want you to read it. I know you're memorized, but I just want you to read it. You're gonna see the scene's gonna be worse. Because whenever you're reading off something, whenever you're doing something, you're not fully there. So that's how much of a difference the technical preparation makes. That's why being memorized, being off book, that's going to create so much freedom, because once you have all of that technical stuff done, once you have all of the words out of the way, everything else is second nature, what's left? Just room to play. You don't have to worry about anything else. You're not worrying about tripping up on a line, who's going to say what next. You know your cues, you know your reactions. So if you're technically prepared, you can do this. And for Meryl Streep, she had a very, very big challenge. She had to learn Polish, and she also had to learn the accent for that. That is not easy at all. And if you do not know, the language or the accent strongly enough, then you're going to bounce all over yourself. You're going to bounce all over the place, honestly, because accents are already very difficult. And whenever you memorize lines, your brain kind of views it like a song. You will kind of memorize a cadence, which is why I always tell people to never act the first time that they do a read through of a scene, because if you act the first time you do a read through, then you can subconsciously become married to the decisions that you make that first read through. And then it's hard for you to break out of that box. So when you have an accent, like right now I'm going to use my American accent. If I learn a scene with my American accent, it's going to be harder for me to do that scene in a country accent or in a different accent, even if I'm off book, simply because the way that I say it is different. So now my mannerisms or like certain things might be different. It might throw me off a little bit. So Meryl Streep had to really, really learn this accent. She had to really, really learn all of these lines, this dialect, and she had to go a step further, learn the actual language. Because when it comes to dialects, it's not really going to sell as much as it should if you do not actually know at least some of the language, because you have to know the language to know what sounds are what vowels are where. You can always learn the highlights, but that kind of rolling off the tongue, that type of fluidity will only really happen if you're somewhat fluent in the language. So Meryl Streep took it 10 times further than she actually needed to, right? She learned the language, she learned the accent, she technically prepared herself, so anything couldn't make her slip up. She would be able to show up on set. Everything is down packed. Everything is practiced. Everything is rehearsed. She knows what she has to do. So all that she has to do is show up and play. Have fun. Do your thing. So the exercise for this one would be to choose one technical characteristic, a posture, an accent, tempo, vocal placement, and rehearse it separately before adding dialogue. Discuss whether the technical focus reduced self-consciousness. So a little bit of what we talked right now, right? I want you guys to give yourself, it can be in any scene. You can literally grab any scene that you've done before. I want you guys to give yourself something to play with, whether it be an accent or maybe the way that your character walks is different. Maybe the way that they stand is different. Maybe they have like this like tick where they're like always like rubbing their nose or something. I want you to add something a little bit different about the way that you normally do that role. I want you to give them some sort of major physical characteristic that you think might just mess you up. And then I want you to not let it mess you up. So you're going to rehearse, you're going to practice, you're going to get that accent down, you're going to get those lines down, and then you're going to get to a point where you just get to play it. And then in that process, I want you to ask yourself those questions that I just went over, which is, well, while I learn these new things and apply it to these scenes, does it kind of distract me at any point? Do I feel a little bit disconnected? Where do I feel connected? I want you to kind of discover how adding that different level or that different accent to that scene might have shaken you up and what you did in order to ground yourself again. Whatever you did that worked, this is all discovery process. You find out what works, what doesn't work. Whatever doesn't work, you scratch it off. Whatever works, you add it to your process. Because the beauty about acting is that there's no right or wrong way to do it, in the sense that like there's 400 million techniques, and that's because there's 400 million actors, and every actor will come up with their own technique. Each and every single one of you is going to have your own unique technique that you're going to kind of make up on your own, because what works for you may not work for a classmate. So what I tried to do is I tried to kind of show you guys a bunch of different techniques, a bunch of different things, a bunch of different exercises, especially in this class. That way you guys can discover what works and what may not work for you as an actor, and kind of start building that technique of yours and kind of that booklet of tools that you can pull out to push you forward in your craft. Up next, we have Robert De Niro, Taxi Driver. Oh, this movie's incredible. De Niro obtained a taxi driver's license and drove a cab in New York while preparing to play Travis Bickle. Lesson: research does not have to happen behind a computer. Experience something your character experiences. Experience will beat pretending every single day. You always want to dive headfirst into anything and everything that you're doing, because it will make such a difference. Like, I almost worked a gig as a barista, and I was planning to go to the coffee shop next door and asking the barista if I could just watch them make coffees for a day or something. You always want to do that type of stuff. Another example is, what's what's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal, whenever he did Nightcrawler, for Nightcrawler, he actually studied a coyote, the movements of a coyote, the psychology of a coyote, and he also studied, you know, the types of photographers that find these crime scenes, what actual night crawlers did in real life. So if you're not unfamiliar with Nightcrawler, it's about a man who has this job, which is a very real job, which is kind of like paparazzi, and they try to be the first person at crime scenes. That way they get the first pictures and they can get the best price whenever they're selling off those pictures to news channels and to different stuff, right? So they're like journalists who do not mind putting their lives in danger, essentially. And they're up all hours of the night, all the time, trying to get these pictures of these crime scenes. So the reason that Jake Gyllenhaal decided to study coyotes, and you'll like, while you're in your journey of studying acting, I guarantee you that you will run into at least one teacher that is going to tell you that studying animals is going to help you as an actor. And if you have the misfortune of crawling on all fours like a dog and going up to a Zoom camera and barking like I did while I was in college, I am so sorry. But sometimes acting teachers will make you do stuff like that. I saw all my classmates on all fours moving like cows, kicking back like donkeys, catching balls like dogs. I saw it all, man. And you know what? I can tell you the only thing that helped with was like getting out of my head, because it's like I can never do anything that's going to make me feel embarrassed. I had to get on all fours and bark like a dog in front of my class. Like, pride is gone. It's all gone. There's nothing left. But Jake Gyllenhaal, he studied the coyote because what do coyotes do? They're kind of like vultures. They stalk for the dead. They stalk for animals. And they're out at night. They're looking for prey. Sometimes they will look for a larger animal's prey. So they'll look for like if a bear left over any extra stuff, they'll kind of hang around those similar areas as well. So similar to those photographers that hang around the dead, coyotes do as well. So he started studying coyotes, and not just that, but the movements of coyotes, because coyotes, they move in a very slick and sly and quiet way, right? Almost like a Nightcrawler. So if you watch the movie Nightcrawler, you see the whole time Jake Gyllenhaal's body language. He's moving like a coyote. He's moving with a certain like hesitance, but curiosity and bravery. Like he's gonna go with it, but he's careful. And you see that his eyes are always open. He's always on the hunt, always on predator, and always on the lookout, waiting for someone to get them just in case. So he studied this thing with the coyotes, and he also studied these people who actually go out to crime scenes. So he would be up all hours of the night with these people, going off to these crime scenes, getting these pictures and studying these people and being like, hey, why do you do this? And they'd be like, obviously, because I get so much money. So that's how he ended up studying for that role. And for Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro did a similar thing where he actually got a license, and he decided to, you know, actually start driving a cab, because the experience that you get by actually doing something will never beat just acting. You know, it'll never beat just pretending to do something, because like, for example, in Robert De Niro's case, the stories he has from being an actual cab driver are stuff that you can't make up. You know what I mean? And it's stuff that he knows he lived. So it's going to give you that natural tough skin, you know, that a cab driver is going to have. It's not going to just be like, oh, I'm pretending to have tough skin because I'm pretending to be a cab driver. It's like, no, I actually did have an East New Yorker in my back cab, and like in the back of my cab with a gun, and I took him to Manhattan, and that was just life, you know? So Robert De Niro doing that is something that a lot of actors do. It's something that I do all the time. That's why when people are like, Mari, how do you have all these jobs? And I always tell them I'm an actor. But I'm not just an actor. I'm a real estate agent. I close mortgage loans. I'm a tattoo artist. I'm a Muay Thai fighter. I'm a stunt woman. I'm a horseback rider. I'm a horse trainer. I don't know if I already said tattoo artist, but that, I'm also, I do a whole lot of different stuff. So yeah. And that's because of a lot of characters. I've had a lot of roles where I've had to learn different skills, where I had to learn how to play different instruments, different things. Oh yeah, I'm a punk musician, stuff like that. And because of that, learning those skills, it's been able to get me a lot of gigs. Like, for example, today, after I get off this class, I have to do an audition, and it's for a horseback riding thing. They're looking for a horseback rider. They're going to want someone who actually horseback rides, not someone who actually just pretends to horseback ride. So getting experience is always great. And whenever you guys have experience in a role, make sure that you detail that in the cover letter or in the application or in the submission for that audition for that role, because they're always gonna prefer casting people who have actually actual experience in the role versus someone who doesn't. So that's why I always tell people to put everything that you can do on your special skill, and then whenever you get a casting for something, if it's something that you can actually do, you want to double down on that and specify like, hey, by the way, I can do this. You know what I mean? Hey, by the way, I'm licensed in this. Gregory, what's up?
How do you slide that in when all they're requesting is a tape?
Are you talking about specifically through 99 or through what platform?
I through anyone. I have like my agency, they request a tape that I give to them, and they give to cast wherever the casting director is, or they request photos. It's not like I get to write a cover letter or anything like that.
Okay, cool. So the answer is going to be whenever it's direct agents, I'll go through all the different sorts of submissions and what to do in that case. Whenever it comes to like a direct manager or agent submission, you just want to let your manager know, hey, by the way, please make a note and let them know that I'm actually qualified to do this or I'm licensed to do this. You know, I always tell my managers, hey, can you add a note of this? Sometimes I have my manager add a note of, hey, can you let them know that, like, thank you for this opportunity. I'm super, super grateful for it. A good manager is going to be able to, you know, sell you to their best ability. And they're going to they should make those notes without you needing to ask them to. But you should still do your due diligence and still have them kind of, you know, still push them to make that note of stuff to push you forward. Because sometimes stuff does go over their head. Sometimes they do forget that you can do something. So just communicate with them. If it's Actors Access or backstage auditions, you have the opportunity to submit a cover letter or a note with your audition. So you can submit it there. And that's for first round of auditions. And then if they call you back to actually audition, you will 100% have a section below the submission thing that says additional notes. And you can add in your additional note, hey, I can do this. What other types of castings are there? There's Actors Access, there's backstage, there's direct managers. Yeah, I think that's about it. Because for the most part, you should always have an opportunity to submit some sort of cover letter or additional notes, because for every audition, they're going to ask you at least once to confirm availability. So whenever you can confirm availability, whenever there's an opportunity to talk, which there will 9 out of 10 times there will be one, because whenever you submit to an audition, most of the times casting directors are like, hey, these are the shoot dates. Please confirm that you're available for those shoot dates before you audition, because they're not going to ask you to audition if you're unavailable, you know? So right there, you slide in that note.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Cool. So, choose a profession for the character and improvise 5 mundane minutes of that person's workday. Don't play the dramatic scene. Play their Tuesday afternoon. So I want you to grab any scene for this exercise specifically. The way you would do it is you get any scene that you've ever done. Like, it could be anything. It could be something that you've done previously, something you're working on now, something you're going to work on in the future, doesn't matter. And then instead of, you know, rehearsing the actual scene of it or rehearsing some big emotional moment in it or something like that, just live out 5 regular minutes in that character's life. You know, what is their regular job? What does going to the bathroom look like for them? What are some regular, intimate, mundane moments? And live out those peaceful moments, because, and especially for all my lovely drama actors, whenever we're doing drama, we can get so caught up doing all the big emotional stuff, because that is the most emotionally taxing part. So naturally, you're gonna put more energy towards that. But you want to make sure that you also put in energy towards the little stuff, the mundane stuff, the regular stuff, because you want to know all sides of your character. Yeah, you want to know them and be truthful to them when they are at their peak, when they're at their most vulnerable, but you also want to relate to them and meet them on a common ground when they are, you know, in their regular day-to-day, when they are just themselves. You want to know the core of this person, and you also want to know the heights of this person, but you never want to scratch off just the little things, because a lot of secrets lie in the little things, you know? I see some stuff in the chat here. How do I access the chat again? Here you are, chat. Can we get a copy of these exercises? Heck yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Can I submit like a PDF via here? Okay, I'll do that at the end of class, and if not, then I'll have you guys email me and I'll send it via email. But yeah, So that would be for exercise 3. Up next, we have Natalie Portman for Black Swan. Incredible movie. Love that movie. Portman underwent extensive ballet preparation before playing Nina. A character's body can be developed before their psychology. So the exercise for this one says, walk neutrally across the room, then repeat as someone who trained as a dancer. Since age 4, someone awake for 36 hours, someone desperate to appear powerful, someone trying not to be noticed, and each time use the same line each time. I'm fine. Okay, great. So for this one, Natalie Portman, if you have not seen Black Swan, she is a beautiful, glamorous ballerina. She's a great ballerina, and in this movie, there's a lot of ballet involved, and not just like little 1-2 ballet. There's like a whole choreographed routines and numbers with like complicated moves and turns that she has to be able to sell, because if she can't sell that, then no one's going to believe that she's a ballerina. If no one believes that she's a ballerina, then everyone's out of it. So we can also think of like our superhero movies. They make sure that they're undergoing like crazy extensive workout regimens and diets and stuff before they get into it, because sometimes the character's body does have to do with the character's psychology. For example, Christian Bale, which I think we will go later into an example for that one. I'm pretty sure there's a movie where he had to lose like 150 pounds, and it was insane. He was literally skin and bone. It was sickly. It was seriously unhealthy. He had to have a nutritionist and dietitianist with him every day on set, monitoring him, making sure that he is not going to pass away, because he lost an insane amount of weight. He went from big, strong American Psycho to like skin and bones. Like it's insane. I'm sharing my screen right now, so we'll go right into this.
I think it was The Machinist.
Yeah,
Machines.
here he is. Look at all the different body transformations for characters for Christian Bale. This is insane. That is all the same actor. Can y'all believe that? We're opening up Facebook now, guys.
Dedication to the job.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
That is all the same actor. I'm gonna let y'all sit with that for a second.
Did you guys see Nicolas Cage for his new movie?
Which one? Which movie? Do you know what it's called?
Hold on. It's that coach. Hold on. Nicolas Cage. My husband showed me the other day. Oh, yeah. Madden. As the legendary football coach.
Oh,
John Madden.
Yeah.
He looks just like him. It's crazy how much weight he gained.
Yes, a lot.
Yep. And there was a role that I had to do as a ballerina, and this film, it was for my friend who's a director, and it was her personal story as a ballerina when she was a kid. And the film is called Chew, and it's about a ballerina who basically, the entire film is her at practice. She tries to put on her recital costume. It doesn't fit, and the coach notices that it doesn't fit. So in the middle of practice, she calls her in and has her try on the outfit in front of everyone. And she rips through the outfit because she doesn't fit in it. And she has this whole humiliating moment where the coach is like, does anyone else not fit in their costumes? No? Just you? Okay, well, why are you here wasting my time and stuff like that? And she's just like, and for that film, I did not pull a Christian Bale, but I gained around 20 pounds. And I'm someone that has body dysmorphia, so that was already very difficult for me to do. And I remember I gained 20 pounds for this role, and I had to learn how to dance in point shoes for it as well. And that was not fun. It hurt a lot. But I remember intentionally, like, practicing a lot on these ballet shoes in order to create certain wounds and bruises on my feet. That way, when I would actually dance, you can actually see the pain, and that pain wouldn't necessarily be fake. Then again, that's a little bit hardcore. I'm not saying you should do that. It's just not something, it's something that I didn't mind doing, right? It's something that I knew that I would be able to push myself to do. So I like intentionally messed up my feet a little bit for those things. And I made sure that like I gained as much as I could, that I was pushing out my stomach as much as I could. And it helped me a lot get into the character, because like whenever I'm not, like, typically the way I'm built, I'm a Muay Thai fighter. I'm typically like, I have pretty big arms, like I'm athletic build, right? So as an athletic build, it's hard for me to get into the mindset of a overweight ballerina not being able to fit in a costume because it's not something that I get into, right? So what did I do? I actually gained the weight. And I tried to get into that costume, and that costume actually didn't fit. And it was humiliating, and it was embarrassing, and it was a lot, you know? And that was a kind of insecurity that I wouldn't be able to understand if I wasn't in it, you know what I mean? So for that role specifically, I gained some of that weight because I knew I wouldn't be able to get into the mindset of a insecure overweight ballerina as a jacked Muay Thai fighter, you know, and it also wouldn't make sense in the film. So that a little bit of that, and it was the same thing, you know, for Natalie Portman. Like, you cannot get into the mindset of a prima donna ballerina without training like a prima donna ballerina. So a lot of it is whenever you have a certain role that is an extreme in terms of physicality, matching that physicality is going to matter just as much as matching the psychology of it. Because sometimes, like, the two won't want to tango if they're not on the same page. Kai, I see your hands up.
What do you have super fast metabolism and you're trying to gain weight, but you can't because all the weight because all the weight that you're gaining goes towards your muscle weight, not your body fat.
Yeah, so
That's my situation.
I get that, and that happened to me, and I'm gonna give you the answer to that, but I'm gonna tell you right now the answer is not good. So what you have to do is you have to first start overfeeding yourself a lot, and I'm talking like get a bunch of Ensure shakes and just chug them, like literally get
I
plenty.
eat
Everything.
I eat a lot too.
Then,
I eat a lot too. I can eat junk food, fruit. I
yeah,
don't gain no
but
weight at all.
here's the part two, and then the second part is you starve yourself. And you starve yourself, and then you kind of go through not eating and then eating a lot and then not eating because your body will start going into survival mode and storing fat in order because they're like, I don't know when the next time I'm going to eat is. So your body starts storing more fat. So you kind of have to play this very unhealthy game of binge eating and starving yourself because you have to get your body to, you know, go into survival mode and store fat. So yeah, that's why I said it's not a good answer and I don't suggest doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Gregory, I see your hands
I
up.
have a question. Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yes, here's a question. It's interesting. Okay, say a director looked at you or the casting establishment looked at you and they said, well, this person will be good for this role. Okay, they like you for some reason, they want to work with you.
Yeah.
Now, what if you was not at that weight? You would just have to put that weight on, or you would need to go under that weight, or you needed to develop something like you mentioned about playing an instrument or be able to imitate as well enough to look like you play an instrument. How king is that in the industry?
What is that in the industry?
How important is that in the industry? Let me rephrase that.
I would say like it's like the ability to like adapt like that in short notice.
Yes.
I would say like it's not that important, honestly. It's really not. Like yeah, like you don't have to push yourself to like to do extreme changes like that, and it's honestly not often that it's required of you. Like I've done maybe
Okay.
100 films, and there was only one time that I had to like gain the extra weight, and then there was like three other times that I got cast as a fighter, so naturally I had to, you know, bulk up a little bit
Absolutely.
more. And then once for a superhero, so I had to bulk up for that, obviously. But it's not often, it's not something, especially I'm not sure what's your typecast? Do you know your typecast?
No, I'm just starting right now. Matter of fact, this is brand new for me, even though I've done movie extra work years ago, and I've also did a few plays. But it's still, I'm still to get the whole thing together. It's still going to take a little while. I would say, if you're looking at me, I'm an older gentleman, maybe with a sophisticated look, and I'm more like probably a politician, attorney, or some business person, kind
Yeah,
of like
don't worry about it.
clean. Yeah.
Yeah, then I wouldn't worry about it then at all. It's really not something that's common. And at the end of the day, like there's so much work, especially for like a typecast around you, like for that like attorney, like,
Yeah.
sophisticated energy. Like there's so much work for you that I wouldn't even worry about like
Okay.
doing one of those extreme things is if you want to do like an action film or like a documentary about a guitarist or like a specific niche, which like that's one out of a million movies. So I wouldn't even worry about that. But there is like that once in a while, and you can kind of make that choice. Like for me, like I'm someone that I love action movies, like, and I love fighting. I done so I know that I'm gonna be asked to bulk up sometimes. So it's something that I signed up for. That's just my typecast.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Questions. I see Gregory also had another question, right?
More I was sharing. I had some pretty severe PTSD several years ago, and one consequence is loss of appetite and weight loss. And I'm 6'1" and was 120 pounds. And I'm now 180. And I found that eating my regular diet plus drinking 9 to 15 protein shakes a day and working out regularly actually is a long-term way to tackle that. So I just wanted to share that is sort of like if you're not in an immediate need to put on a lot of weight, it still involves a lot of eating and a lot of effort.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. Definitely
So,
very cool. Um, Maurice, did you
yeah,
have a
I did. I don't know if I should ask it now or later because I know we're talking about hiding and all that. But
Oh, you're good. You can ask now. No worries.
okay. For beginners with doing their IMDb page, would you recommend how much experience they should have under their belt involving everything?
Well, on your IMDb page, you don't like when it comes to IMDb, you don't have control over it. It's something that because IMDb only projects that are official are going to be added to them, and only higher ups add them. So like the producers add them, or if the project is big enough, or if the festival is big enough, then IMDb themselves will automatically add it, or Amazon will add it, Netflix will add it. That's something that's like actors have no control over what goes on IMDb. That's like official stuff that is above us. So you wouldn't be getting any IMDb credits for anything unless you're doing SAG projects. So IMDb is important if you're going for lead roles in feature films, lead roles in TV shows. If you're going for like big roles for A24, for Neon, for Amazon, if you're going for like big roles, like big lead roles, it is important for you to have some stuff on IMDb because it's important for you to show that you've worked a couple SAG jobs and like you're a SAG actor because they're more nitpicky when it comes to those big roles. But for day players, co-stars, you do not need a lot of stuff, and you do not need a lot of stuff on your IMDb because like I said, IMDb is what like the big dogs use to check the names to make sure like, hey, is this person legit? They've worked on shit. Can I cast them as that lead in that movie? Okay, cool. They're legit. Cool. Because IMDb is something that like I said, actors, no one can mess around with. It's not like Wikipedia. It's only like legit stuff from only higher ups can put down. But yeah, so you can't really, so to answer your question, you can't really build your IMDb. That's something that, they build themselves. You would build it by working on SAG projects, and getting the credit, but you would have to be doing speaking roles in order to get the IMDb credit. I don't think that they credit background on IMDb. And yeah, but it's not important when it comes to auditioning for 90% of auditions. It is important for the 10% of auditions. Bob, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah, thank you. I trip easy.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, okay, I went on just to check myself not that long ago, and I think I've only got one mention. And I've done commercials, I've done parts in movies. And how do you go about getting that brought up? Or
Well, you have to check if the movie made it to IMDb because out of 100 movies, only 15 are making it to IMDb. Because IMDb is like SAG projects. It's not really like it's IMDb is like SAG projects and projects that are getting sent to film festivals that are like, it's not many it's IMDb won't show any student films. It won't show 80% of indie films. It won't show a lot of smaller projects. So
Okay.
yeah, so if it's not on, you have to check if the film is on IMDb. Look up the film on IMDb, and if the film or the project is not on IMDb, then you won't be able to get credit for it because it's not legit enough to be on IMDb.
The funny thing is that the one that is listed on IMDb was a smaller role compared to many, many others that I've done, which were, supporting and lead.
Yeah,
That's
because they might have,
okay.
yeah, because you might have done a smaller role on a bigger project, and that bigger project got IMDb. But those roles that you were a lead might have been for smaller projects, so the smaller projects didn't make it onto IMDb.
Or ones that didn't go to
They go to
say
festivals,
a
didn't, yeah,
festivals or something like that.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you kindly.
yeah, no problem at all. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah.
What is the process of getting your SAG card today? It was years ago when I was dabbling around in the industry.
Oh, I feel like I need a cigarette to answer that question. So for SAG joining, back then you'd be able to do 3 background roles that are SAG eligible,
Yeah.
like SAG qualified, and you'd be able to get your SAG card. Not anymore. Now you need to do a speaking role on a SAG project in order to get your SAG card. Yeah.
It has to be a union film, right? Most likely.
Yeah, it has to be a SAG film. You have to get a
Yeah.
speaking part on a SAG film.
So one more thing, one quick question. So most of the stuff that in my particular case been non-union, I would probably just do I go after SAG roles if it's offered, or do I just stick with the
Or
non-union?
go for it. You guys can apply for SAG roles if you're not SAG. It's not guaranteed. Like 80% of the time they're gonna say no. 90% of the time they're gonna say no. But there's always that 10% that's like your lucky bit. You know what I mean? Like maybe they see you and they're like, this is the only person we saw that looks like this is the only person we saw that can do this skill, we need them, because the way SAG works is that SAG projects need to hire at least, whenever they're doing background, they need to hire at least 25 SAG people before they can hire non-union people. But if they really like someone that's non-union, they can put in what's called a Taft-Hartley and expedite their process
Yes.
to get into the union. So still apply to SAG projects because you guys lose nothing by applying to it. Like, well, you're not going to apply to it, you weren't going to do it anyway. So it doesn't matter. Apply to it because you never know, you might get it. So if you don't apply, you're definitely not going to do it. But if you do apply, there is that 10% chance that you get it. And if you get it, you never know if you climb the ladder and skedaddle or finesse your way into a speaking role on set and then you get your SAG card. You never know. So apply for it.
I had a question.
What's up?
Versus the SAG and non-SAG, is it not unpopular for someone that's SAG to do non? Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm SAG and I do non-union all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
they don't frown upon that.
Yeah, you're technically not supposed to, but let me get into some details, right? So there is SAG and then there's SAG eligible. So once you do a speaking role on a SAG project, you become eligible to join SAG. You can do 3 SAG jobs before you join the membership because to join the membership it's like $3,000 up front and like $500 to $600 every 6 months. So you can do 3 SAG jobs without paying the memberships. Once you do that 3rd job, they're gonna hit you up. Hey, you need to pay your dues and join the union. And after that, once you join, while you're SAG eligible, while you're not officially union but you're still eligible, you can work on non-union and union. So you have a gray area there. But once you pay your dues and you are officially part of the union, you're technically not allowed to work non-union because it's like betraying them. They're like, hey, what the fuck? But if it's like a really, really low paying job, they're not going to trip over it. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to get on your ass over $200. So you can work small non-union projects and like not get in any trouble. Just don't work anything that's going to pay you thousands of dollars that's non-union because then they're going to sniff that out and that's when they'll get upset with you.
Okay, and I have one more question. It's not really pertaining to the union side of things. I'm probably jumping the gun as well, but I'm not in like a real popular city where work comes. Where I'm at, they don't even offer like a tax incentive for films to shoot here, so they're very slim when they come out here.
What city are you in?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Okay.
So, but my question is like, with everything being being able to, basically like go online and do online auditions, things like that, does that make it easier for unpopular cities to gain work nowadays?
Yeah, definitely. Like, honestly, where you guys are located doesn't matter that much in terms of like whether or not you're gonna book. But it also depends on like what type of actor you want to be and what category you want to what category you guys want to get into. Like if you guys want to do specifically background work, you do have to be local, because think about it. A movie's gonna hire like 5,000 background actors or something. They're not gonna pay for 5,000 hotels and 5,000 cars. You know what I mean? Like they're already paying $7 billion to Zendaya just for that one film. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna wanna. Background does not get transportation or lodging or anything like that. They're looking for local people to fill up space.
Right. That's like the day planner or I forget what the term is, but yeah. Like
Day player. Sometimes they have lines, and like either way, like the roles that they will pay you to like fly out and stuff is like lead roles, co-star roles, speaking roles. And like if it's a smaller project, just because it's not SAG doesn't mean that they won't fly you out. There's plenty of indie projects that are budgeted to $50,000-$60,000, and you guys can get paid a good amount, and they'll pay for that transportation if they really like you as an actor. So still submit to everything. If you guys want to do like the background stuff, I would say definitely like get to a city where that stuff is going to be common. That's why I moved to New York, because it's much easier for me to get cast when I'm down the street. But acting, like you can still, like one of my close friends lives in Nevada, and she is one of like the lead stunt women for like Marvel and a bunch of places, and like they just fly her out wherever she needs to go. So if you're like, a lead actor, a higher caliber actor, it doesn't matter. You can be anywhere. You're going for bigger roles, it doesn't matter. They're going to fly you out. But if you're going for like smaller roles for background work, then for the most part, you want to stay local. But what you can do since you're in a small town, if you want to start building your resume and stuff, is look for film schools that are near you, or look for colleges that have film programs near you, and try to become a part of their productions. That way you can start getting some footage and creating a reel. That way you can kind of start setting yourself to apply to those bigger auditions.
Cool. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, no problem at all. Bob?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's up, Gary?
Well, I just want to ask, back in the day, they kind of it was like taboo to do a lot of extra work. I'm from Southern California, so I had the opportunity to work everywhere within Central and LA Casting and all the major studios. And they would say if you were on film too much as a background actor, that would hurt you a little bit. I don't know if that's still true in the industry today.
It is. And the way that I'm going to put it to you guys is, for example, and I shot myself on the foot with this one. So I auditioned for a co-star role on A24's Super Fakes, right? And then I decided to apply to a background role without telling my manager about it. And the thing about big productions is that they lie about their name. So they will go under an alias name whenever they put out castings. So I was applying to something called Ghost Shift, and I just needed money bad because my cat needed a dental cleaning. So I was like, I'm going to do background. I'll do it. And I'm not going to tell my manager. And my manager always told me, don't do background. And I was like, okay. And I did it without telling her. And then I show up to set, and guess what? It was fucking Super Fakes. And I was like, damn it!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then my manager tells me, she was like, yeah, the reason that like lead actors and bigger actors can't do background is because if you do background, they can't call you in to audition for a speaking role because the audience already saw you as another character.
Right.
So that's what I would say. You guys can work background on other stuff, but like if you guys are going for a speaking role on that show or on that production, you cannot work background on it, because if you were already seen on camera once as a character, they're not going to call you in to play someone else, on the same show. So just be cautious about what background roles you apply to, and that you're not applying for speaking roles on that show.
One more quick question too. When should we start submitting? I haven't got any reels. I'm working on that.
As soon as you can. As soon as you can, but I would say before you submit, make sure that the pictures that you have and that the materials you have look good, because you want to make sure you make a good.
I have no reels. I did a movie in the early years called Who's Making the Rules? So my nephew right now is trying to extract a little 30-second part of that. And then I did a play at Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach. And he's also trying to extract a 30-second out of that that looks good. So I can put that as a reel. But I have no reels at the moment. I just have everything filled out. I'm also a singer, so I got a lot of experience on stage.
Yeah, so I would say
So, you
definitely
know,
clip what you can, but if you guys need footage and you need footage fast, look for film schools around you and see if they're casting any student films and if you can get involved in it, because those films you're going to get cast on a lot faster than you will for anything putting out casting notices. So go for that and get more recent footage for your reel. For sure, because especially if it's a film reel, they're not going to want to see you perform in a play, because play and theater acting is completely different from film acting. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's essential to have some kind of reels, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, if you're applying for bigger roles, they're going to want a reel, and if you don't have one, then they'll just ask for a self tape. So you'll be fine. Question? I see Victor and Kai.
Okay, I'll go first. So our actor unions and record labels are they kind of like the same? Are they kind of like the same thing? Well, like two different boats in the same ocean?
I guess kind of. An actors union is just like a committee that protects every actor's rights. But the thing, I wouldn't say necessarily, because any musician can sign up to any record label, but all actors need to sign up to that one union. So if there was one big record label that represented all musicians, that's SAG for actors.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So SAG is the union, the committee that represents all performers, all actors, all film actors specifically, because the theater has their own union. But film actors are covered under SAG-AFTRA. They're the ones who pay us. They're the ones that fight for us. They're the ones that give us rights. They're the ones that put down all the rules and regulations. They're the ones that send all the paperwork for every movie. They're the ones that have to greenlight everything before we're allowed to do anything. So yeah.
So my question is, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so tomorrow I've been cast for a trainer, a horse trainer in the background, and it's a pay, but a non-union. But you were just speaking about other roles. So with me doing that, because it's a series, I may look up or become a regular in that. Would that be probable?
Yeah, definitely submit for that. Definitely submit for that, and definitely tell them, hey, my acting teacher's a professional horseback rider and horse trainer if you need a female horseback rider.
Yeah.
And then send them my link.
Yeah, I gotta be there like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's so awesome. Wait, no. When you said horse casting audition, I almost shot myself because I'm auditioning for a horse casting audition tomorrow, but it's virtual.
Yeah, this the taping, the recording.
Oh, that's so sick! That's so sick!
So that's my first pay gig. I did one background in a church, and that was no pay, but it was a little money, but it's exposure in what I want, the area that I want to be in with cowboy.
Wow. Wait, can you actually ride horses and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had horses.
In that case, Victor, I need you to shoot me an email, Victor.
Okay.
I need you to shoot me an email. Do you have my email?
I probably do, because I was in one of your classes, one of your other classes.
Yeah, I need you to shoot me an email, because the thing that I'm submitting for is asking me if I know anyone who rides horses. So.
What is it?
It's for a Coca-Cola commercial.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So shoot me an email, or honestly, I'm probably going to end class strictly at 8 p.m. and then I'll stay on the call with you for like 2 minutes after.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Bob, what's up?
Yeah, just quick question talking about horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
If you have done an audition that required horseback riding and you did that, could you put that in your reel?
You should not put a video of you
horseback showing yourself as actually riding like a horse.
Yeah, but your actor's reel, your actor's reel has nothing to do with your ability to horseback ride. Your actor's reel should only be close-ups of you acting. If you want to have a separate reel of you horseback riding, you can do that, but it should be separate.
Okay, so your actor's reel should just show facial, like
Yes.
close range, and in scene. Okay.
No problem at all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end class now so I can stay on the call with Victor for a minute. But I do not know if you guys are gonna be here in class tomorrow. If you are gonna be in class tomorrow, I'm probably gonna go over the rest of the worksheet. If you want access to this worksheet, please just shoot me an email and I'm happy to send it over to you. And yeah, thank you all so much for being in class today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you again.
Thank you,
Thank
Maria.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Maria.
Thank you.
The rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye now.
Love Nick so much. I don't want him to lose his mom again.
All right, if we could have everyone leave the room, please, other than Victor.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to get
Bye.
off. Hold 1 second, trying to get off.
You're good, you're good. Okay, so Victor, tell me about your horseback riding experience. Are you Western? Are you English? Are you a show jumper?
No, no jumping. I've had a horse, and my uncles and them had horses when we were growing up, and then so I would go horseback riding here in Georgia, and then one day I was riding, and I just asked the lady, "How old should a horse be when I get one?" If I was looking for a horse, and she said 6. So I went out and bought a horse, and then I started. So I was on 4 acres, and so I built a paddock and everything for him, and just had a horse, and we was raising them, and then riding them, and then I took them to when I eventually had to leave that place, that property, I put
Yeah.
them in a stable, and I worked at Panola Mountain State Park right down the street from this stable, so I would go there every day and clean the stall and feed them and run them around everything.
That's
So
so
yeah,
precious.
so
That's
that's
actually so precious.
and then my
So
uncles had
amazing.
horses in South Bend, and that's what I had wrote to them when they for
Yeah?
that casting. Yeah. And so they got me in. I mean, it's
No,
only
that's so incredible. What's the series called?
I think it's just a fake name.
It always, honestly, it typically is. But what's the alias? I might still know it, honestly.
Rodeo,
The alias is
rodeo something, unpredictable rodeo.
Unpredictable Rodeo. That does sound like an alias.
Unpredictable rodeo project.
I mean, period. That sounds so fun. I'm trying to get this video to load. I want to show you a video of my horse. He's my baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome, though. So do you ride Western or English? Western, right?
Yeah, it would be Western.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun, dude. So, let's see. Would you be able to work local to New York by any chance?
Like, what does that mean? I don't live in New York.
But let's say, like, would you be able to travel out here and stay? Let me see how long the. Let me open up the casting info real quick.
Yeah, because I definitely travel.
Because a lot of projects, they will ask if you can work local. So, like, for example, I'm local to New York, right? I don't live in California, but sometimes there's projects casting in LA and they're asking for local. So I lie and I'm like, yeah, I'm local to LA and I just pay for my own travel and hotel. And typically whatever they pay me from the job will pay off the flight and hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
because I travel from Detroit to Tennessee and to Atlanta and Orlando and Louisiana and Texas. That's my normal route, just visiting family and stuff and doing work. I do handyman work. So, it's no problem for me to travel, but New York is not. Well, I got a cousin. I mean, my niece is in Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for this one, it's saying the shoot date is August 31st to September 1st. And it would be paying. Let me see the details. If we make it to final cut, then it's 5,000. And hourly rate is 150. And then after 11 hours, you get double rate 200. And then usage, travel day 400, fitting 150. Okay, so it looks like it should be able to pay itself off if you're traveling. So I can submit you to it. Just
Yeah.
make sure that if they reach out that you say, yes, I can work New York local.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to smudge the truth a little bit as actors. I have said I'm a Chicago local. I am a
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I just tell them I put it in my thing. I have people that live in each state that I go into, so I can work there.
Yeah. I still want you to shoot me an email though, so I can like send your email over to them.
Okay. How do I do that?
Yeah, send me your email with your name. If you have a headshot, send that over as well.
What's your email?
My email is Maria Carolina, MARIA KAROLINA film FILM @gmail.com. Maria Carolina film @gmail.com.
Okay. All right. I'll shoot that over to you right now.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Great.
Appreciate you.
Of course, no problem. And if tomorrow they're like, hey, we need a female actress that can ride a horse, be like, I have a friend who's a professional horseback rider because I'm a show jumper, so I can do 13 jumps in less than a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so jumping, that's
your thing, huh?
That's my thing. I'm trying to get this video to load so I can show you my son. He's so beautiful and majestic, but he's also an asshole.
How old is he?
He's my age. He's 23. I retired him recently.
Oh, okay.
I had to retire him, yeah, because he was just. I was like, what I would normally do is I would flip horses. So I started off with like a pony that was like $300, and then I competed her. I sold her for $1,000, and then I just kind of kept flipping horses that way. Wow. And then my last horse that I got, I was 14 when I got him, and he was also 14. And the thing with him was that he was way too aggressive. So no one else would want to get on him. He would launch everyone off. He would crush them, break their arm, all that stuff. So then I got stuck with him. I couldn't sell him. Everyone was too scared to get on him. He broke this one girl's arm who tried to get on him. So then I got stuck retiring him, and now I have to pay for his boarding every month on top of my own here in New York. And but that's the boarding. The boarding is really where they get you. They get you like that every time. I remember when I was like training, like professionally training as a jumper, my boarding was like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And that was disgusting. It was disgusting to say the least.
I met a guy. I was at a hat shop getting one of my hats worked on. A guy was telling me his boarding, he charges $1,200 for boarding. And I'm just looking at him like, oh, okay, yeah, I wouldn't pay that much. I was paying
it's ridiculous.
300 at the most.
It's ridiculous. I swear they want to rob us. And even retiring my horse has been insane. I haven't been able to find a place that's charging us cheaper than what they are right now. They're charging us they're charging me $600 a month. And the thing is that he's 23 years old, so I have to spend like an extra like $100 on weight gaining supplements a month, plus any little extra things he might need because he's a senior horse and he's also still super violent. So like I'll get a text like, oh, hey, Mighty, I need an extra $100. It'll broke the fence, and then he like snapped off the top of a box just because he could. And I'm like, okay, there it is. I'll share my screen right now so you can see him. I was able to finally find a video. Here he is.
Wow. That is like so advanced from my writing.
Really?
No jumping.
Yeah, that was at a competition.
How long ago was that?
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love showing. I've been competing since I was 7 years old. I've been riding for like 20 years now.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting my granddaughter on it because she's 3. I was thinking about getting her.
Do it. That was the best things my parents ever did for me.
Yeah. I seen a Instagram post with somebody had a little girl on the horse and training her, but they was doing the English. And I was like, wow, that would be awesome to get her doing that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm literally a trainer. If you ever want to teach her how to jump, just give me a call.
Yeah, okay. And you out in New York, right?
I'm in New York, but sometimes I fly back home to Florida to check my horse and train other ones.
Oh, he's in Florida. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
I'm from
right.
the South at heart. All
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well,
right,
all
well,
right. I appreciate you.
send me that email.
I sure will. And I
All right.
thank you so much. Good night.
Blessings. Bye.